Hey everybody, it's Jenny, and I am here today with a scrapbook process video. And I am getting out my mat to protect my desktop, so that must mean only one thing, and that's right, it's alcohol inks. Well, okay, to be fair, I do use this also for blending inks, but today we're going to use alcohol inks. Again, I don't see a ton of people using alcohol inks right now. I think that maybe it is not the paper craft du jour, but I still absolutely love them and love how they look. And so I'm going to use them, especially for this swimming pool layout, because alcohol inks can definitely mimic the look of rippling water in the pool. So I'm first matting my photo just on some navy blue cardstock. For this monochromatic layout, I am going with, you guessed it, shades of blue. I am just trimming down my Yupo paper. This is the paper that you use for alcohol inks. It's kind of a plasticky paper, honestly. You'll see me in a minute try to tear it. You really can't tear it. I mean, I suppose you could if you went crazy, but just ordinary tearing doesn't work. So I trim it up. They are about 7 inches wide and 1.5 inches tall. And I'm going to use four different shades of blue and bluish green for my strips. You can see right there, I tried to tear it and just decided I was going to cut it off. I do have swatches of these, but I wanted to put them all together on this paper so I could just get a really quick visual of how they were going to look together, since that was just a tiny little scrap. That was going to help me a lot. And I'm really glad that I did it, because it was helpful to see how all of those blended together and looked together so that I could think about how I wanted my stripes on my paper. Now, this lightest one is a cool Perry. So I guess theoretically it's maybe sort of a purplish blue, but that's okay, because then you get into the Laguna and that's kind of a greenish blue. So we're getting a wide shade range here. Okay, so there's going to be three strips that are all just one color. So the Divine, the Glacier, and the Laguna. And then there's going to be a handful that are mixed. So like that right there where you saw the two together, including the Cool Perry. The Cool Perry is a beautiful color and I really love it, especially for it just isn't as bold. And so it's really nice to have that slightly lighter color there. But I didn't want to devote an entire strip to it. So we're just sort of starting at the very top with that Cool Perry and then working our way down. Now these colors, I love them. If you watch my videos, you know I'm really a big fan of blue. I'm probably always a big fan of blue, but the past couple of years I've really been into blue. And so I'm really having a great time using these various shades of blue. So first I'm just putting down the blending solution, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is really just basically some form or some concentration of rubbing alcohol. I don't really know. I don't do this enough for me to have to like seek out really cost-effective ways for doing alcohol inks, because I do know some of these things are kind of expensive, but and if I did them a lot, I would probably definitely be looking for more cost-effective materials. Sorry, I was just completely brain farting on that. I would probably be looking for more cost effective materials, but because I don't do this that often, it's okay. I can just use the blending solution that I have. But anyway, completely off track. Sorry, guys. So you can see the strips are sort of getting darker and darker, if you will. Like I'm trying to sort of blend them together, not like seamlessly. That isn't the point. The point isn't for them to be seamless, because the strips are going to have a tiny bit of white in between each of them on the pattern or on the cardstock. And so it's not necessary that they're perfect. I really just want it to give the overall appearance at the end, kind of like we used to say in the 90s, like a Monet, like from far away, you'll get the point. Up close, some of the details might be a little bit like sketchy, but from further away, you'll totally get the overall feeling that I'm going for. So it's just to blend together all of these different shades of blue, or bluish green, if you will, in the case of the Laguna alcohol ink. Now, again, I don't actually know what I'm doing. Like, I haven't watched other videos about alcohol ink. I haven't read blog posts. I know nothing about it. I just started doing it one day because a friend of mine had some alcohol inks, and I went from there. So if I'm totally screwing up this technique, that's cool. And I'm just saying that because I think a lot of times we want to be experts and we don't want to be beginners at different techniques and different crafts. And I don't need to be an expert in alcohol ink. I'm doing it because I really enjoy the process. I really think it's a lot of fun. And I think we can allow ourselves just the sheer enjoyment of it. And I think I talked to you guys about that a while back with the ink blending as well, that I'm not some master ink blender. I don't know a ton about it. Side note, I'm using my heat tool just to dry these a little bit faster so that I can get upon my way because I want to start making my scrapbook layout with this, but they are still a little bit wet. So anyway, back to being a beginner. I just think it's really, really important to remind ourselves that a lot of this process, while in terms of memory keeping or even card making, there is a purpose, like, oh, recording our memories or sending cards to loved ones. But there's also a large part of it, which is that it's supposed to be really enjoyable and it's supposed to be fun. And for me, I want to play. I want to play with some of these techniques, and alcohol inks and blending inks like distress oxides or whatever are absolutely unequivocally where I want to just play. I have lots of other projects that I do on a more less playful, I guess you would say. And so, yeah, I just want this to be fun. Anyway, all of that to tell you that I'm not an expert. So if you're looking at me for proper ink technique, you should probably seek somebody else out that is an expert and can give you more pointers because I don't have any. Anywho, so you can see I'm gluing down my strips, and I should have really probably set them out before I started gluing, but I got a little overzealous as I do. And so I just sort of started gluing. But the good thing about the Yupo paper is that it is quite forgiving, to be perfectly honest, because I mean, by and large, it kind of feels like plastic. So it's not a big deal to pull it up off the paper, and I'm using a really heavy cardstock for my page base, so it works out great. All right, so I have this one photo of my dog. I think the photo is hilarious, so I don't feel like I need more photos of my dog standing on its hind legs in the pool. I feel like that's cool. And then I went through my Fun in the Sun and my Summer Snapshots collections, and I picked out embellishments that had a blue feeling or were blue or overall looked blue. Now, again, my camera stopped recording. Sorry, so you missed that. Me gluing down that tag and that geo tag up at the top, but I promise, that's all you missed. So now I've got my photo down, I've got my tag down. I just want to do a tiny bit of layering over here. Now I'm pulling out this bad mamma jamma of foam adhesive. This is one from a cherry on top, and it's like $7 or something. I could be remembering wrong, but it's very inexpensive and you get an insane amount of it. So while the roll looks crazy because it's huge, it's gonna last me a long time, I hope. So all right, so I'm just adhering some of these down, and the foam adhesive really just helps it give it a little bit extra dimension. And honestly, on a page like this, I don't necessarily need it. With the alcohol inks, that's giving it enough, like interest that I don't have to give it dimension to. But I'm kind of in a foam adhesive sort of phase or era, if you will. And so, yeah, I wanted to do that. And I'm also going to use some of these puffy stickers just to sort of randomly put a couple of words. I really just sort of wanted to make it feel like full of glee and joyful, things like that, because the layout is hysterical. I mean, my dog is standing on her hind legs in the pool, just chilling out. And I find that to be exceptionally funny. Side note, if you follow me on Instagram, I post in my stories multiple times a week during the summer, my dog's swimming and jumping in the pool because my golden retrievers are pretty crazy about swimming. So this is the basic layout of this page. I'm going to adhere these last two little tags down, and then that's really it for me. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I will do my very best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.